Well, hello, thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be talking about two famous poets from your English 3 lessons. They are Walt Whitman and Emily Dickinson, and they are considered together the two American masters. That's how it's listed in your lessons, and that's how it's always presented in any literature or poetry class that I've ever had. And that, for some reason, they always list Walt Whitman first and then Emily Dickinson. You would think ladies come before gentlemen, but in this case, they always talk about Walt Whitman first. So Walt Whitman was born in 1819 and he died in 1892. And he's called the father of free verse. Just remember that, the father of free verse. Now, Walt Whitman left school at age 11, but he started teaching at the age of 17. And he self-published his own book of poetry called The Leaves of Grass. Remember that, Walt Whitman, Leaves of Grass. Fun fact, Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass book of poetry was called Obscene, Too Sexual, and Shocking. It was a big deal when this came out. Bet you want to read it now. At the time that Leaves of Grass was published, it was not considered the norm of poetry. The way he wrote poetry was different than most people had before him. And he's known as the father of free verse because of that. And free verse is actually a literary device used in poetry that does not have rhyme scheme or regular meter. His views on the world were thought to be radical back then. He had a big opinion on labor issues, sexuality, capital punishment, and slavery. He started an anti-slavery publication. Now we're going to go over Emily Dickinson. Now, Emily Dickinson was a recluse. What that means is she didn't really like to go around people. She kind of kept to herself and lived in the same house all of her life. Some people thought she might have had extreme anxiety, or she might have had epilepsy, or who knows, maybe she just wanted to concentrate on her poetry. But she stayed to herself and stayed in the house most of the time. But she was called a rebel, and she also called herself a pagan. She believed in science over religion. Now, one thing that Emily Dickinson is known for, just like Walt Whitman is known for free verse, Emily Dickinson is known for slant rhyme. And what that means is this is a type of rhyme with words that have similar but not identical sounds. Fun fact. Okay, about Emily Dickinson. Have you ever been criticized for your grammar? Well, Emily was too. She experimented with punctuation and capital letters in her poetry. And that's another way that you can know her poetry. You can tell it from others easily. But now, as a side note, please don't start trying to act like Emily Dickinson in your writings. We still need to know that you know proper grammar and require that you use it. But now for your papers, just please keep it in good grammar. But she was from a well-to-do family. Actually, her father was a senator, so she knew perfect grammar. But this is just how she made poetry her own. And she used dashes instead of regular punctuation and capitalized words in the middle of the sentence, the end, or just wherever she wanted to, because she was the poet. And so I'm going to put an example up for you to read where she's used a lot of dashes, and she's capitalized words that you wouldn't normally capitalize. She may have one capitalized word next to another word that's not even capitalized. She just uses that for emphasis mainly. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that presentation on the two American masters. Just remember, Walt Whitman, Leaves of Grass, free verse. Emily Dickinson, slant rhyme and dashes and different punctuation. And that should get you through most of the tests. Thanks for watching.